Hey guys, so it's been a while since I've been in front of the camera. Most of you are probably aware that I've been working on the cinematic stuff a lot lately, probably for the past month and a half or so. And I didn't actually plan on it carrying out this long. I do still have a few left that I'd like to do now that I'm kind of doing them. But they shouldn't take me too much longer. The Hyperspin intro video that I just did was probably one of the most difficult that I've done, in a way that it was so technical with each separate theme having to come together. It was almost like creating 8 different playlist themes and melding them. It took a little bit longer than I had thought, but I've had people ask me if I'm able to make a launchbox version of that theme, and to that I have to say I don't have one planned at all, really. The intro. The intro was made for one of my patrons, Angelo, who he supports with the $10 a month, so he gets to have custom work done for him, and that was his request for this month, was a custom intro. And I created it with the Hyperspin at the end, just as sort of something to give to the Hyperspin community as a thanks to Avar, because he's always calling me out for the work that I do and mentioning people's names, not just me but everyone. He's really good at making the creators feel appreciated. So I just kind of wanted to give something back to the Hyperspin developers and the people who run that, and didn't want to make it a Patreon exclusive this time around. Angelo got his version with his tag at the end, and I removed the Hyperspin from that because that's what he requested. But the Hyperspin one was made specifically for Hyperspin, and specifically because of Avar. So I don't have any plans to make one for Launchbox right now. I already did an intro for Launchbox a while back, and I really just want to kind of finish up the cinematics that I have planned now. And there will probably be some more in the future, here and there, depending on how I feel, or if I want to take a break and I don't want to get burnt out on something I'm doing. I have the option to do separate things. So, but for now, I just want to finish the ones I'm doing and carry on with the rocket launcher work that I was working on, because that's my #1 priority. When all said and done, my #1 priority is rocket launchers. So that would be my phone. I apologize for that. So some things I want to talk about. I'm hoping the video is not too long. I wasn't looking forward to making some super long video today. First thing we're going to talk about is the poll. And for those that didn't know, on the front page of my website, which is retrohumanoid.weebly.com, which I'm really hoping to at some point make enough from Patreon to rent out the website and get the domain name so that I can drop the Weebly part off of it. I think it was $20 or something. I don't know. I don't remember the price. I haven't checked it in a little bit, but I'm hoping to get rid of that Weebly part. But on the front page of my website, like I said, for those that didn't know, there was a poll, and it's been up there for a while. I think since the beginning of the month, July 1st or 2nd or something like that. And it's asking you guys which system you would like me to do next on Rocket Launcher. Now, some of you might have watched my previous videos and you're wondering what happened to MS-DOS. I thought you said you were going to do MS-DOS next, which I am. And the plan is to actually, the plan has changed slightly, but for the better, because I had a talk with CriticalCid about this, and it makes a lot more sense to just wait for Exodus 3.0 to come out, see what he's going to have in that package, see if anything gets renamed, see if anything gets changed around, and work my rocket launcher media around that. So my plan is to wait until 3.0 comes out, which is projected in the summer or the end of summer, around that area. I know he still has a little bit of ways to go, but he's definitely working on it. And I believe he's working on a Win 3.x package too. So that will probably follow the MS-DOS. I don't know yet. I don't want to hold myself to that quite yet. But the plan now has changed from doing just the 500 MS-DOS games that I personally have to doing all of them. Now, obviously, there's a lot of MS-DOS games that have that are text-based adventures or don't have music or, you know, things like that. Those are impossible to cover. There's no way. But I'm going to do my damn hardest to find everything that I normally find for all the other systems for every DOS game. So over 5,000 games, yes, it's a lot of games. So far, I believe I've covered roughly 5,000 games worth of media, if you add up everything I've done so far. But it also makes it more difficult to do 5,000 games when they're split up among, you know, 60 different systems. This is focusing on one system and getting each section done at a time and releasing, you know, the backgrounds, and then working on the music and releasing all the music at once and releasing the videos at once, and so on and so forth. So it's not as bad as it sounds. Sure, it's a hell of a lot of work. It will be. But it's something that I'd really, really love to get done. So that's the plan. I'm going to wait for Exodus 3.0, and then I'm going to work on MS-DOS and do every single game that I possibly can from MS-DOS. Now, back to the poll. What the poll is since I decided I was going to wait for Exodus to finish his project, I wanted to know what you guys thought about the next system that should be done. So I left it up to you guys. I didn't want to make the decision myself. Maybe not everybody knew about the poll, but hopefully after today's video right now, everyone will, or a lot more people will be made aware of it for the next time. And I ran a poll on my website, and I ran a poll on my Patreon page. And just so there's no confusion, the Patreon poll, I only have 9 patrons. So it's not a huge dent in the poll overall, but I did want to give my patrons a bit of a neck up on the whole voting thing. So as a bonus for being a patron, each vote that they made counted as 5 overall votes. There was no way for me to scope what kind of votes would come in on my website, because looking at the analytics for my website, I get about 500 visitors a week and about 200 unique visitors every week. So there's a lot of the same people coming back on a regular basis, but it's averaging about 200 new users every week visiting my website, which is fantastic. I never actually thought it would do that well. And it gives me a good idea as to what's being clicked and what's more interesting to people, and so on and so forth. This is really going to help me decide what you guys want, as opposed to me throwing out things that I want and hoping that that's the same thing you guys want. So this website, even though I haven't had a whole lot of time lately to work on it, it's doing its job as far as informing me about what you guys really want. So excuse me, the poll, after adding up the votes for both polls, the Sega CD Sega 32X has actually won. I'll show you the patron page as well. So like I said, each patron vote counted as 5 votes. So you're looking at the Sega CD Sega 32X at 43% of the votes. That was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was 3 of the votes. So that's 15 votes technically. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah. So 15 votes technically from Sega CD 32X. Like I said, I had no idea how many people were going to actually vote on this and see this without me promoting it. So 5 was the rough number I gave my patrons. And then if you add those 15 votes to... I actually voted for Sega CD because I'd like to have that done. That's why mine is orange. If you add the 15 to the 7, it's 22 votes. Okay, so this is how this is going to work. No, I'm not going to do a brand new poll. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove Sega CD, Sega 32X from this poll on the front of my website, and I'm going to put at the top the winner of the previous poll, which is going to be that Sega CD, and I'm going to add a new system to the poll, and all these votes will stay. Okay, so Nintendo Game Boy Advance will still be sitting at 12 votes. And then Sega Saturn will still have 5 votes. Master System will still have 4 votes. And there will be a new system on there with 0 votes. People have the option to go back to the site, retract their vote, and add it to the new system if that's one that they'd rather have. So this will keep a constant voting poll without me having to renew it all the time. I'm just going to cycle whichever one won, cycle it out, add it to the top, and quote it that it won, and put a new system in. And it's a constant voting stream so that I always know which one is on top, and people don't have to keep coming back and voting if they want Game Boy Advance until it's done. You just put in your vote for Game Boy Advance, and by process of events, it'll get done by the amount of votes that it has overall. I hope that made sense. I don't want this to be confusing. As for my Patreon page, I'm going to put a new poll up every time replacing the system because Patreon works a little bit differently. Now, why am I doing it this way? Why not just do it on a per complete basis? Every time I complete a system, put a new poll up. Because I screwed up. It's simple and plain. I screwed up. I put the 7-day limit on the patron poll, but I did not put it on my website poll. So people have been voting for a week and a half or so, 2 weeks now, and the poll was technically supposed to be closed already. Not a problem, not your guys' fault. I'm not blaming anyone but myself. I should have done that, but I missed that part of it. So I've decided to go this route instead because it just makes more sense. I guess it was a good thing that I forgot to add the limit of 7 days to it, because this makes more sense. So place your vote. You can check back occasionally to see what the new system is, and yeah, I mean, that's how that's going to work. Now, as for new media, I have been creating cinematics. I have been doing that a lot, but it's not the only thing I've been doing. I have put out a couple things. I've gone over some stuff. I added Apple II to my arcade, so I'm going to give the bezel that I created here to you guys. And I tried to make it look like the Nosh RetroArch bezels, the best that I could. I mean, I did what I could. And it's very hard to put a bezel on the Apple II. I don't know if anybody's had an easy time doing it. If you have, please let me know your secret, because I had to fit, instead of fitting the game window to the bezel, I had to fit the bezel to the game window. But I was successful for a 1080p monitor. This INI file will work. It should work. I believe you have to have the 2x zoom turned on, and it was like, I think F6 or something to do that. But it should be on by default. Don't quote me on all that. I'm just going off the top of my head here. I did this weeks ago. Alright, so that bezel will be there for you guys to use. There will be an Apple II folder in the Rocket Launcher media stuff. I don't know. I'm going to have to decide where that goes, because let's have a look here really quick. Let's go to the download page. I don't think I created an Apple II one yet, but I will. If you don't see it there now, it will be there. Just keep an eye out for it. This PC, and yeah, I didn't create it yet. So I will make an Apple II button here for you guys to go to, and that'll get done. Like I said, if you don't see it there, just check back. It'll be there. And so that bezel will be there for you guys to use. And then menu logos. I was actually going through playing a Panasonic 3DO game and went to the pause menu and noticed that I didn't have menu logos made for change disc. And I thought that was really strange, so I made the menu logos. and these will be in the I'm going to add them to the zip file in the 3DO section. I'm going to do that tomorrow, so it's not going to be done today yet. I'm extremely tired, so after I make this video and post it, I'll probably go to bed. So, but it'll get it in there. I would say safe bet, wait a couple days, and then download the menu logos, and it'll be there. So, yeah, I couldn't believe I forgot, I left this one out. So, this is there. Panasonic 3DO, once again. If you guys ever notice any menu logos missing, please let me know immediately, because I'll add them to where they belong. I'll put them in there, because, you know, I was doing so many of them. I think I did, like, 60 or 70 different sets. I was doing so many that you become a robot when you're doing it, and it's, you miss things. I'm only human, so. Alright, so, now for the big news, okay? Fades. I went through all 212, I think, of my fades, including the front end fades and everything, and made alternate versions. Okay, so those that are used to my fades with the black line around them, if you're okay with that, then this may not interest you. But I felt that I wanted some variation for people who like different styles or want a different look for their fade windows. So I took the same exact fades, I just changed the way the borders look, and I will give you an example right here. Well, I'll go through them. So you have a beveled look here. It has the drop shadow on it. And like I said, all 200 and some odd fades are redone in these styles. So you'll have 212 of these, the beveled ones. You'll have 212, all 212 done in the chrome style. So this is like a chromium kind of look, a metal look to it. And then I also did, this is the normal one. I did the glowing black bars one. So it's the same size as the other one, just it has a blue glow to it. And then it comes in green, orange, pink, purple, red, white, and yellow. So you have all those different glows behind the bars. And then, this is the light ones. Now there's the neon ones as well. So you have neon blue, neon green, neon orange, neon pink, neon purple, neon red, neon white, and neon yellow. So there's all kinds of different fades, and you can mix and match all you want. If you want the Sega ones to have blue wheels, then or to have blue fades, then you put those in the Sega system fade folders. And then you want Nintendo to have the red ones, you put those in the Nintendo system folders. It's completely up to you, or you like the beveled look or whatever. I have samples of each type. These same exact samples right here in this folder, they're going to be in the fade folder now. So you'll be able to go into that sample folder and view these things directly from Mega. You don't even have to download it. You can view how it looks directly from Mega by right-clicking it. I'll show you right here. So we got new fade versions. This is how these are all going to be moved to the fade folder. You go into fade samples, and right here you can do this. You see this little arrow? You could just click on that and preview, and it opens it up in a window for you to look at before you even have to download them. So you get a good look at what they look like. Then you just close it. So those are going to be in the fade folder, and I will move those now, actually. You'll go into each folder, and they'll have the system ones labeled as beveled, so that you can tell them apart if you download more than one set. And then the front end ones are there. The default front end ones are there. And same thing for Chrome. Oh, why is neon in there? I'll tell you what. I'm going to switch those around where they belong, and then I will... Yeah, that's funny. And then I will move them. I don't want to have anything all screwed up like this, so I'll make sure that they're in the right place. I'm going to have to go select every other one. No. I might be able to fix this really quick right now. With date created. Okay. Absolutely something you want to be doing when you're recording a pre-recorded video, right? Okay. So those are gone. in a second now. It's a lot of them. It's over 200, so it's going to take a second. Mega actually, some good news about Mega at least. They actually doubled my caps at no extra charge at some time between last month and now. Instead of 4 terabytes, instead of 2 terabytes of storage, I now have 4 terabytes of storage. And instead of a 4 terabyte data cap, I now have an 8 terabyte data cap. So, I mean, at some point they doubled it for me, and I ain't complaining. If they want to do it, they can do it. So all these other ones look to be, let's do it by name, look to be okay. I don't know how that one got in that folder, but probably just dropped it wrong. Red, white, and yellow. Okay. So we'll take all these and we will move them to fades. Alright, so that's done. So you guys will probably be taking these before I even get this video out. Alright, so as far as everything else, there's really not much else to talk about. So, what are the plans for the immediate future? The plans for the immediate future are to finish the cinematic videos. I'll give you guys an idea, since I'm here now as well. I'll give you guys an idea as to what I have left for cinematics, okay? Don't count the Zelda collection, because I don't think I'm going to do that right now. That's something I'll worry about later. But I have these right here that I'm looking at making. So, and it's also going to be called Laserdisc, not Daphne. Because I keep all of my Laserdisc games in the same wheel in Hyperspin. So I'm going to make a Laserdisc theme. One for Vectrex, one for PC Engine CD, PCFX, and WiiWare. Now I saw a WiiWare cinematic video floating around somewhere on somebody's video. I think it was Control-Alt-Defeat, and he had it in his system. But I haven't been able to locate that one. So if anybody knows where I can find that, that would save me a lot of trouble. As for making my own, because really all I do is make ones that I'm missing from my system. So I would appreciate if anybody could tell me where to find that WiiWare one. I looked everywhere and couldn't find it. But so this is the plan. I have 6 left to go. And of course, next month Angelo has another Patreon request, so possibly a 7th. But these should not take that long. I'm already more than halfway done with the Laserdisc one. And already have a serious plan for the Vectrex one. So, once I finish those cinematics, I will begin work on the Sega CD, Sega 32X, and that shouldn't take long itself either. Really, there's not that many games for both systems. That's why I combined the two, because there's really not that many games. I'm probably going to pop 32X out there with everything right away. That's not going to take me long at all. I mean, we're talking, I do a system with 750 soundtracks like Super Nintendo, and it takes me a week. So if it takes me a week to do 750 soundtracks, there's less than... just a guess, I don't know, 300 games for the two systems combined. So it's not going to take that much time at all to do both of them. Now, I don't want to hold myself to that, because if I get busy in real life, I know we're going to the zoo. We got all year round passes for the zoo, so we're going to try to take advantage of that. So, and my son is over visiting right now, so he's leaving at the end of the month. But he's been here for the past 3 weeks. So that's kind of taken my attention away from this stuff. Understandably, I'm sure you guys understand that. I don't get to see him that much. And then we're also going to Six Flags Great America on August 13th. So there's a lot of things that we're planning or we're going to be doing, and probably going to the zoo a few more times before the summer's over and take advantage of those year-long passes. And some distractions, but I'm going to try to keep to the stuff as much as possible and get it done as fast as possible, as always. And I believe that's it. I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. I'm just rambling on at this point. So if you guys got any questions, or you feel I left something out or didn't answer your question that you left for me previously, then please comment here and I will get back to you ASAP. I was thinking of doing a Q&A because I don't always have time for questions with everything I'm doing in real life and everything I'm doing here, trying to stay focused. You know, when you're doing cinematics, it's a little bit different from downloading and fixing soundtracks, because during cinematics you have to make sure that your mind is there at 100% and that you are focused. Otherwise you lose track and you burn out and you forget things and it doesn't come out the way that you had hoped. So when you get an idea for a cinematic, you have to stay there, stick with it, and do it until it's done. And that's the way I feel, and that's what I do. So I don't always take the time out that I should lately to answer questions or respond to people as much as I did previously. I'm not happy about that. I've always been excited to talk to the community and answer your guys' questions and stuff. And this is causing me to neglect that a little bit. So I do apologize for that, for those that have questions unanswered. But I'm more than happy to answer them when I do have the time. So leave them under this video and I'll watch for them. And I will cut it off here until the next video. Thanks, guys.